I've been an athlete most of my life and, really abused my body physically. And so I've just had this back condition for a long time. They've done a bunch of injections, spinal injections into my spine. I actually had surgery because there was a nerve that was all messed up in there, and I had surgery a few years back, and nothing just got better. And so that, my MRI looks horrible, and I didn't want to go into any deeper surgery, and the therapeutic part, matter on matter, just wasn't really a good fit for me. And so that's why I came here with basically the intent of really wanting to heal my back. I came here in a lot of pain and actually in a lot of fear about standing up, about the walking meditations and things of that nature. And through a meditation yesterday, doing the breath work in our meditation yesterday, I, sitting there for a long time, I had felt pain and so forth, but I felt some acute pain going through the lower part of my back as I was doing the breath work. And I'm kind of going, that's a little unusual. I hadn't really felt that before, And so as I continued on through the meditation, in an unusual way, I just kind of noticed that I wasn't in a lot of pain sitting there, And part of what we had talked about yesterday was, in the nothingness or in the nowhere part of our meditations, to be in that connection with our Creator, to be what it is that we wanted to be. And I wanted to be whole. That was my sponsoring thought for that meditation, was to be whole. So in the midst of sitting there and following the directions and going into nowhere, and in an unusual way knowing that I'm in the place of nowhere, and then had this feeling of wholeness, which is not anything that I've had before in my life, because previously in my life I've used a lot of external things to try to feel that sense of wholeness in my soul. I've used substance abuse, alcoholism, relationships, having money, not having money, all these external things to try to fill this void in my soul. And then as I got connected to that, to the oneness of the universe, and felt my vibration going up into that place of nowhere, I had just felt this sense of wholeness, that I'm okay, that I don't have to have something outside of myself to feel good, I don't have to have another person in my life to feel good, that I'm okay just as I am. And then the paradigm shift, my whole world just shift, and it's like, as a whole person, I'm kind of calling a healthy back to me, and it's like, okay, I'm a whole person now. I don't need the energy of feeling shame and guilt and remorse because of the way that I had lived and just trying to feel like a whole person. I don't need all that junk anymore, And I think through that breathing meditation, that energy moved up through the first and second center and basically moved out. And I was able to have that sense of euphoria and sense of connection, Dr. Joe uses this word dissolving. And so I had felt my presence dissolving into the presence of oneness. And I just didn't feel like that I needed the energy of that back pain anymore. And as I laid there, I'm kind of thinking, I don't feel the back pain. And I brought me a lumbar pillow, because I'd been using it, that when we moved from sitting in the chair to the floor, I have to have the lumbar pillow, put my feet a certain way because I know my back's gonna hurt, right? So I naturally did that when I laid down. I stuck the lumbar pillow there, and then this thought came to me, I don't have a back issue anymore. I don't need that. And I threw it to the side. It was just instantaneous. After that connection, my whole world just changed, and I took the back pillow and I set it to the side, and I was able to lay there in comfort. And I'll be honest with you, there was a little bit of, is this real? Is this not real? What's going on? Because it was a new sensation for me. I haven't had in a long time, a sensation of not feeling pain. And I almost didn't want to believe it. It was almost too good to be true. I stood up, began to walk around, and I'm going, I could bend down and touch my toes, which I haven't been able to do in years. And I'm going, damn, this really worked. And so I had this sense of true connection, and not just talking about the oneness, but feeling the oneness, you know? And that's not a part of my story anymore. Having back pain, that's just not a part of my story. And I just kept reminding myself of that last night. I did the walking meditation this morning, pain-free, right? And I'm standing in front of you right now for a couple of minutes, pain-free. And so it's just not a part of who I am any longer. You know, it's interesting, I found the work about 18 months ago, right before the pandemic. You know, is when I found the work and started watching some Dr. Joe tapes. And then I have a great friend in Las Vegas, and she was going to a Los Angeles seminar before it got canceled. And so she hooked me up with some of the progressive tapes and got me watching those progressive tapes. And then I just got to say this, I did a couple of mind movies. And then during the pandemic, I did a mind movie of coming here. A whole mind movie in and of itself of being here at a Dr. Joe seminar, right? And I put up pictures, I put up affirmations, and where I was at that point in my life in Delray Beach, I would have believed I would be a billionaire before I would be able to come to a Dr. Joe seminar. It was just that far out of my scope of reality at that time. But I did the video anyway, and I kept watching the video, and I followed the directions throughout the seminar, and then my whole world just began to change. The job, people, places, and everything just began to change. And here I am. I mean, I'm living a dream that I had about 15 to 18 months ago, being here at Dr. Joe seminar. Are you kidding me? I'm 56 years old, and I'm just now getting plugged in, and I'm so thankful and grateful. I feel like a new person.